So, thirdly, our next segment is news going on with PlayStation and the gaming industry in general over the past week. So, first off, there was a very large demo for Shadow of War that got shown off this week. This is the sequel to Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. So, we talked about the announcement trailer last week. The gameplay trailer dropped 4 days ago from Sunday, so Wednesday, I believe, the 8th. So, you did not watch the whole thing, right?
No, I just skimmed through it.
Alright, well, I watched the entire thing because, again, like I said before, big Lord of the Rings fan, and this game looks awesome. I'm so excited for this. This came out of nowhere. It, slapped me in the face, it grabbed my attention, and I cannot wait for August.
That's awesome. The first game kind of came out of nowhere too, I feel like.
It did, yeah. It was a big surprise for a lot of people, from what I
Yeah.
remember. So I haven't checked out the first game, but Shadow of War is definitely something I'm picking up probably day one because the trailer showed it was focused mainly on the Nemesis system and its evolution.
Mm-hmm.
So in the first game, they had the Nemesis system where you could just go run into a base, kill a bunch of orcs, fight the captain of said base, and then later on that captain would show up and fight you again, and then you'd have like a history that builds. So what Shadow of War is doing to evolve this is making the scale a lot bigger, to the size of you have your own army, and there are different factions across Mordor that have their own opinion of you based on what you do in the game. And I think, first, very quickly, I think something that's very cool about what they're doing with the Nemesis system now is it works with your allies too. So you can build the leaders of your military army that follows you, and they have their own opinion of you based on what you do, how you promote them, your interactions with them, what you do in combat with them, stuff like that, which I think is really cool because it sort of gives you a more personalized experience already than what the Nemesis system was doing. And yeah, the main focus of the gameplay now looks like you are sort of Ubisoft-wise going across different territories on the map and trying to overturn bases and get people on your side to grow your army and take over Mordor, which I think sounds like a great concept. Like we mentioned before last week, no canon involvement whatsoever, but yeah, this game sold me a lot.
Is it really set in Mordor again?
Yes.
Okay, because the first game I think was Mordor for like the first half, and the second half was somewhere else.
Yeah, it opened up more in the second half of the first game, but
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think most of this is in Mordor.
Okay, I would like them to branch out a bit, but that's okay, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
I hate the name. Just gonna say it right
oh
now.
yeah, it's like I don't know why.
I keep on saying Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
it's the
It's
most
like
satisfying thing to say that, but
I don't know why they chose to brand the Shadow name and not
yeah,
the
like the Shadow
Mordor
of
name.
it's like the crappy Arkham stuff.
Yeah,
Like
like I don't know why they didn't just try and use Mordor again. Like they could have just said Middle Earth War of Mordor or
yeah, I
War
think it
for
should just be
Mordor.
like Middle Earth should be the branding. Like
Yeah,
Middle Earth, I'm gonna fight again.
yeah,
Like
because like
something.
what other franchises are they gonna use Middle Earth for? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Like it just seems silly. Maybe they
Yeah,
make a fighting game at some point. I don't know.
it could be
Oh,
cool.
actually, you know what? Totally get NetherRealms to do it after Injustice.
Oh, that could be very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. There's an idea, but anyways, back to the discussion. So I saw a dragon in this game.
Yes, you did.
What is that?
So there was a scene in taking over the base that they did in the demo
Mm-hmm.
where you had a troll break down a door for you, and there was a cage dragon on the other side, and it was caged, so like the cage was the shape of the dragon laying down, so he was stuck in there, and the enemies were using him to be a flamethrower,
Mm-hmm.
which was awesome. So he burnt like a ton of the dude's army. So you climb up, you fought one of the generals on top of the tower, and then you did your whole sort of Assassin's Creed movement, and you got in a sniping position and shot some barrel or lock that was on the dragon cage, and it broke out, and you were able to use your elf being that's attached to your player character and take over the dragon and fly him around the base and burn everything.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
it
don't know.
was
That sounds
very.
great.
Yeah, it's gameplay wise, the variety seems like they're expanding because there was mounts in the first Shadow game,
Hmm.
but I think it was limited to the hyenas or the leopards, and I think that might have been it. But they were also back in this one, and the dragon was sort of the main highlight for a mount in this, though.
Hmm. That sounds cool, man. It looks. I'd be interested in playing that game for sure.
Yeah, it seems a lot more strategic in
Yeah,
this
that
one,
stuff seems cool.
and they also mentioned they're expanding the RPG elements in this one.
Hmm.
So, I know some people had issues with the first one not really fleshing out any RPG systems.
Yeah, my issue with the first one was just like, while it's a really well made and kind of awesome game, just putting myself away from it. It came out at a time where I kind of felt done with that kind of combat.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's been like, by the time this game comes out, it'll have been 2 years since Arkham Knight,
Hmm.
so I'll probably be okay by then to play
Yeah.
another like, counter based combat thing.
Yeah, and I think the sword fighting, that sort of aspect sort of looks more fleshed out, so hopefully that distinguishes it from like Mad Max or Arkham.
Right. Yeah. Also, question about like you say you're a huge Lord of the Rings fan. What do you think of the story of this one so far, for what we
Um,
know?
do you mean as far as like?
They're forging another ring, right?
Yeah, I mean it doesn't bother me because I like also huge Star Wars fan and I love the Star Wars games. Like I know Darth Vader didn't have a secret apprentice, you know.
Right.
So I mean I always think it's
Star
cool when,
Killer.
I always think it's cool when uh big franchises take liberties with their story and be like, what if this happened? So I like how this is something that's actually a thing
Yeah, I'm
because
totally cool with that. Yeah.
I mean, like, if this wasn't here, I don't think Lord of the Rings would be in the public eye at all right now until it gets rebooted in like 10 years.
Yeah, totally. I feel
So,
like just go all the way with it.
yeah, I mean,
It's
why
like
not? It
you're
seems
making a
like,
video game, make it fun. Who
yeah,
cares?
it's aware it's a game. It's fleshing out what was good about the first one. It's making itself more distinguished, and it's just like bringing in more token references.
Hmm.
So I'm cool with it.
I have a Kotaku article here.
Hmm.
I don't know if you saw this, but it's titled "A Very Serious Conversation About Orc Romance in Shadow of War."
Oh God.
I kind of like the vibe this article went, but I'm just gonna bring up some points here.
Okay.
The first, I'll read it a bit. Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor was a game about attachment in the face of decapitation. You came to love certain orcs even as you warred against them. It was a game about relationships, more romantic in some ways than games that are explicitly about romance. So I had to know, in Shadow of War, is there orc romance? That was the first opening,
Uh-huh.
and then the quote from Monolith's creative vice president Michael D. Platter, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but basically his response was, "There's a whole genre of orc romance on Amazon, as we discovered the other day.
Oh God.
There's absolutely people that love that. We don't have anything like that in our game at the moment, but in an indirect way, you can make them your companions."
Oh God.
So I don't know. My pre-order just got canceled. I'm not buying that game anymore.
Oh God.
Whatever. Kind of, I do like the vibe of like talking about Middle Earth, like the first game being about relationships, because you totally do with that Nemesis system is awesome.
Yeah.
You totally do feel a connection or to some hatred when you tackle your enemies.
Hmm.
It's very personal and great, and I'm
Okay.
excited to see what they do with this one.
I'm kind of surprised that that hasn't been adapted for other things too.
I feel like a lot of people thought that was going to be the next big thing,
Yeah, I did.
and I feel like that next Batman game probably will have it.
Yeah,
Because
actually
like,
Batman would be a good fit for it because you have like all the villains and you can just like have certain rivalries be stronger with others.
I think that Damian Wayne game is totally going to do it, you know?
That'd be really cool.
But also, I feel like people expecting the Nemesis system to already have been a thing in other games
Hmm.
are probably like AAA games take a while to make now,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Like you'll see most games are being made in like 3 to 4 years now instead of like two.
Yeah.
So
We got some more news the other day about Uncharted: The Lost Legacy.
yeah.
So the main takeaway here, there was an interview with one of the game's producers, I believe, on Game Informer, because they got a cover title or cover article in the recent issue of Game Informer. And the big quote takeaway from the article is, "This is the single largest level we've ever done, bigger than the Madagascar level in Uncharted 4, with driving, lockpicking minigames, and other sort of variety in gameplay." So, what is your takeaway from this? It's also worth mentioning we also got more story information about why this is Chloe's story. It has to do with
Mhm.
her Indian heritage and going after the Horn of Ganesh.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the idea of Naughty Dog making bigger stuff is cool because they usually the stuff is super linear, right? The Madagascar level in Uncharted 4, just like as soon as you get to that level, is probably like one of the coolest set pieces in the game, just
Hmm.
because you've never been able to do anything like that in a Naughty Dog game before.
Hmm.
Like you got this big car, you're driving around everywhere. It's neat. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do with that kind of bigger level design. But the story stuff is cool too. I'm excited to see more Chloe because she was probably my favorite part of two in terms of characters.
Hmm.
You know, in the event where they didn't have any Sully in that game or barely any, you
Hmm.
had Chloe, and that was great.
Yeah, so I think I'm really interested about what they were saying story wise, but
I
sort
think Chloe
of,
should have married Nathan Drake and not Elena.
I mean,
I
it's,
actually don't. I actually don't think that, but you know,
I mean, it's up for debate, I guess.
it's actually a debate. I think they do a good job with making sense that Elena and him get together, but I feel like Chloe could have done it. You know,
Hmm.
I don't know.
But yeah,
They're both great characters.
yeah, everyone in Uncharted has a great, like, anyone could have been the star of this DLC, I think,
Yeah,
or this
totally.
expansion.
Even Sam, I'd been fine with. You know,
Yeah, so I
but
think like my biggest takeaway with this was the story sounds really cool, and
hmm
the way they were talking about it seems like it is one environment with just the whole story takes place there. So I looked back on the trailer gameplay trailer they showed at PSX.
that 12-minute trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the view of the cityscape on fire and the guards and the chain link fences and everything makes me think that you're playing in this city that's on lockdown,
hmm
and that's the environment and the whole story takes place there. I'm not sure. There could be like a prologue or an epilogue sort of thing to it too, but it makes me think that just since they're putting so much effort into this one area, it seems like it's a very big area with a lot of dense content in it.
So it's kind of like an open world game for Naughty Dog, I guess, right? Possibly.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I don't know. I think Naughty Dog should be pushing themselves all the time
Hmm.
because they're some of the most talented developers in the industry. You know,
Yeah.
like focusing on pushing your mechanics and gameplay stuff rather than just making the coolest set piece you can.
Hmm.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what kind of takeaways they have from doing this and that impact on like Last of Us Part 2 or whatever their next property is.
Yeah, because this game looks kind of bigger than I expected.
Hmm.
I think they have like a 50 or 40 person team on it,
Oh wow.
which I don't know how much of the team they had for Left Behind, but it probably took a shorter amount of time than this game is taking.
Hmm. But yeah, unless you have any other thoughts about Lost Legacy, that's probably all the info we have to go on with that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it again, but like Chloe being absent in Uncharted 4 means that I'm super excited to see her again in this game.
Yeah, it's
You
cool.
know, and Nadine is
So
awesome. Sorry.
yeah, two quick stories. There are screenshots that came out this week for Telltale's Guardians of the Galaxy. Looks good. Looks like it's a Guardians of the Galaxy game. Fits in with the movie designs.
I wish they would change their engine.
Yeah, I mean they did.
They said they did, but I don't believe them.
I mean, yeah, well, I don't know. I think Batman looked good.
Batman did look good, but also it ran pretty bad.
Yeah, I had some issues with the first and last episode, but other than that, it was pretty smooth. Looked
I
good.
had some hitches sometimes. It would stutter.
Really.
Yeah, I don't know. That's fine though. Like, I kind of like their art style usually, but the Guardians of the Galaxy one, they kind of got rid of their black outlines, right?
Yeah, it's much small. I was looking at the image again a second ago. It's a lot thinner, but it's still there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so far it looks kind of bland, but I don't know. It's still probably like a month or two out. Who knows?
Yeah, well, the movie's in May, so if they want to get a release time with that, it's probably gonna be at least another month and a half, like you said.
Yeah, that'd be worth it.
Yeah. So I hope that's good. Other Telltale news, though, The Walking Dead episode 3 is coming out on March 28th.
Finally,
Yeah,
God.
that was. How long of a gap
Episode
is
two
that?
came out in on like the December 18th.
So that's like almost
That's
four
too long.
months.
Yeah, my God, Telltale, get your stuff together like immediately.
Batman was done within 4 months, I think.
Yeah, because it was Batman and they knew prioritize that. But I feel like Walking Dead is their thing though, right?
Yeah,
Like that's
really
your
weird.
thing. Get it done.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, I'm probably gonna wait until the full season is done to play that one.
Yeah, it's really good so far. I'll tell you that.
Mm.
I think it's much more promising than season 2 was.
Well, it's good to hear then.
Yeah.
Because I thought 2 was fine. It was just like it relied too much on season 1, I think.
Yeah, I didn't like the characters as much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think what 3 is doing is like Clem is a protagonist, but also, well, Clem is in the game, but you're
Uh-huh.
playing as someone else.
Yes, I saw
And
that.
that's cool.
Hmm. And yeah, quick other thing: Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be having action-based combat.
That sounds awesome. I don't know. Like if you're gonna remake a game, change it up as much as you can. I feel like.
Yeah, it's a different take on it. I thought this was already confirmed when they showed the gameplay trailer. It was
Yeah, right.
action-based.
I thought that was the whole thing. I thought that's why it was so cool.
I guess it was also suggested that during combat you can switch between your party members, which is pretty cool.
I wonder if like if you switch to Barrett, it's just like a third person shooter.
That'd be cool.
Or actually, Final Fantasy 15 wasn't like that, right? When you
Did the guns?
yeah, I think Noctis could have a gun sometimes, right? You could use Prompto's gun.
Yeah,
But I
there was
never.
the when you could do the like the dual strike things when you called on Prompto. It was just like a quick time thing with the shooting.
Yeah,
But yeah, the combat even in this though looks much more Kingdom Hearts like because it has that menu on the bottom left.
yeah. Also, I think Nomura is the guy attached to it, right?
Yeah.
So he is the Kingdom Hearts guy,
Mhm.
and I think Final Fantasy Versus 13 looked very Kingdom Hearts like in combat.
Yeah.
But then when it became a Final Fantasy 15 like mainline entry, looked more kind of tactical esque and less a Kingdom Hearts like, where you just Kingdom Hearts I think of mashing buttons a lot, right?
Mhm.
And very fast paced. So yeah, I like that combat more than the 15 had. I think.
Yeah, I think it's a good fit for 7 just because 7 has had like the spin-off, right? They had a Crisis
Dirge.
Core.
Oh yeah, Crisis Core. That game is awesome, man. I don't know.
Yeah, so if they want to like find a hybrid between the two combats of the original 7 and Crisis Core and Kingdom Hearts, that would be kind of cool to see.
Yeah, totally.
Plus, yeah, 7 has a lot of cool characters that would be fun to play as besides Cloud in combat.
Yeah, Barrett, as we mentioned. I
Yeah.
want to play as Sephiroth.
I want to
Make that happen.
Like, I want to see what it's like to play as Red 13.
Yeah, totally. I could see that.
That'd be cool. And lastly,
It's like Okami or something.
yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome. Or Wolf Link.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, lastly for the news this week, No Man's Sky had their Pathfinder update out of nowhere. And this is gonna lead into the next segment, so we should just probably mention this quickly. The Pathfinder update, it added vehicles, it added better visual quality. They said they added some quality of life adjustments. A few other things I can check quickly, but did you check anything out with this yet?
I saw some gameplay of it with the vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Look cool.
What?
I'm glad they're doing this.
Yeah,
Right.
I checked
Not
it
to
out.
say too much, but I feel like
Yeah, I checked it
they
out.
gotta do it.
Yeah, I checked it out. It was very interesting, the adjustments they made. They changed some stuff about base building. They modified the textures to make it look nicer. They got rid of that filter they used to have.
Yeah, it kind of looked like an old, like, weathered down sci-fi book from, like, the 70s or something. Which is
Yeah,
cool, actually, but, I
yeah,
think the new look looks better.
everything's much more vibrant and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of cosmetic changes. There's some menu changes. They altered the ship analysis, so now there's a rating system, so you can see what ships are worth more than others.
Mm-hmm.
They have a A through, I want to say C rating,
Okay.
and the PS4 Pro got 4K support.
Is it actually, like, 3840 by 2160, like 4K, or is it, like, a checkerboard
Um,
thing?
all I know was it enabled the running of 4K gameplay. That's what it says.
Okay. Yeah, I
And
wish
this,
those patch notes would be more specific sometimes, but...
yeah, there also is 4K rendering on PC.
Right. Also, I think the PS4 Pro, probably not the 4K mode, but in standard mode, it does play at 60 frames per second now.
I think so, yeah.
I saw that being said, so that's cool.
They also added new shops, new items to build with. They added a new thing called nanobytes, I believe.
Okay.
No, nanite clusters is what it is.
What is that?
It's sort of, you use them to get build blueprints so you can build different things in your base and stuff like that.
It's like a currency kind of thing?
Yeah, sort of.
Is this game going to go free to play at some point?
Oh, I don't.
When it
Probably
becomes
not.
an MMO and they put in the online stuff they said about, and then they, okay.
What else?
I don't know.
And they added some new weapons, and I almost forgot they added a permadeath mode
Right. That sounds frustrating, but it
and a
might be
photo
cool.
mode.
Okay.
Sorry, this list keeps going on. It's a very long.
They've
list.
been doing some good work on this game, I think.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there's I'll link to the full patch notes down below so you can read through it because it is a lot.
Yeah.
But that about does it for the news this week. Unless there's anything else you have to say.
I'll just quickly mention this, but Telltale's making a VR Penn and Teller game. I thought that was weird. We can go to the next segment if you want.
All right, yeah,
just
sure.
saying.